And let's look ahead to the weekend's weather. Heather Keats is here from Metservice. Heather, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
How old were you when you got your first
I
house?
Married into a house. I cheated a little.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clever. And actually, we're neighbours, so you married into quite a good street too.
Yeah, I did all right for myself. He did all right for himself, though, too, let's be honest.
True. How are we going to do this weekend?
Actually, much better than what it has been. It's been a rather chaotic week. Lots of storms, lots of lightning. I pulled some stats for you. 18,240 lightning strikes since Wednesday.
Wow, is that more than usual?
Well, to be fair, only 1,200 were over land, but still, made for a pretty picture on the coast. It's just the setup of this particular system, massive low pressure system coming in off the Tasman. It was very cold air aloft, but it was a warm air mass. It had all of the ingredients for thunderstorms, and they delivered, obviously, with what happened with Hamilton last night. Lots of storms that tracked over the upper North Island. The focus today, though, shifts from that upper north region with thunderstorms to the deep south, because there's a new kind of system. There's some fronts coming through. Everything's changed to a southwesterly flow, so a lot cooler, and there could be some thundery activity down around Southland today. But there are still watches and warnings in place because that southwesterly flow is quite strong. So today it's Hawke's Bay's turn. It's also all the way around the south, bottom parts of the South Island and the Chatham Islands. The strongest winds there will be tomorrow.
Is it just me, or are we having more thunderstorms lately than we otherwise usually would?
It feels very active, but it is an active time of year. Autumn and spring's very changeable weather. And when you do get the setup like we've had, there's a lot of thunderstorms that spark up. So it's not unusual. And but you know, winter kicks off this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah, it's this weekend,
Goodness
1st of June.
me. How nippy are we going to get in the coming weeks? I mean, I feel like these are dumb questions. It's like, winter's coming. Okay, how cold will it get?
No, it's when people complain, you know, oh, it's winter, of course it's going to rain. Yeah, look, but it's been very warm, right?
It
so
has,
that air masses, we've had some very warm temperatures, and it is going to get cold. We've got snow. We've got road snowfall warnings in place for Linda's Pass, Crown Range, I think maybe Milford as well. And it'll be good for the ski seasons, because of course they're going to kick off their season in a couple of weeks. So good for the base for the South Island ski fields. But it is going to be a much cooler weekend than we've had this week.
Great to see you, Heather. And thank you, just while you're here, for your great service throughout the week as well, doing our weather bulletins every morning on the half hour.
You're welcome.
Come on. Where do you do, because you're not filming them here, are you?
We're filming them at Metservice.
At Metservice.
Yeah.
Is it quite difficult, when it gets to a time of year like this, is it quite difficult to get it accurate? You know, if it's changing, because I mean, yesterday I was watching the rain radar and I was watching the alerts that were going out, and it's like for 45 minutes at a time or half an hour at a time that the thunderstorm cell might be over it. How do you get that right?
So this is the problem with thunderstorms, right? They're small, they're very small, localised, but massively large impacts. And we put out thunderstorm watches, which is when we know that the conditions are right for thunderstorms to form. And that can be sort of 12 hours, 24 hours out. But with a warning, that comes out only when a severe thunderstorm is actually detected. So that's our radar network. We see it, we can see the impacts on the ground. We can then track its path and the projected path. So you can get a thunderstorm warning with only minutes to spare before it hits you, or up to an hour. But Metservice is a forecast agency, right? So we are looking at all the conditions and what those conditions and environment's going to produce weather-wise, and then we do our best to ensure that everybody knows what's coming. Thunderstorms are just so tricky. They are tricky all over the world. Yeah.
We just were seeing pictures from Hamilton of this tornado. Well, people call it a tornado. Do we know yet whether it was a tornado or just lots of wind?
Well, so again, there were thunderstorms over Hamilton at that time, and we look at the radar and we see something called a hook, and it's a visual cue that we can see, and that's typically where a tornado or a funnel cloud would be produced from. Really difficult though when in New Zealand tornadoes touch down. They can be gone within 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And because it was dark, you don't actually visually see a funnel cloud or the tornado itself.
True.
So what we do is verify it afterwards as well. We see if there's a path, we see the damage. But look, trampoline and power lines, that's some pretty strong winds. And what we can say is that, the conditions were right. There were small tornadoes forecast in the thunderstorm watches as well, so would not be a surprise at all.
Yeah, it's like a fart. You might not hear it, but boy, you know it happened, you know?
Sure. I've never heard that analogy before, but okay.
Thanks, Heather. Good to see you. Heather Keats from Metservice.